up? Hey, it's Lucas. So we got a project for you today. My wife asked me a little while ago, she's kind of getting tired of the ceiling fan in the living room. And I know ceiling fans are kind of not very stylish. And especially the one we had, it looked like something that you would find maybe on a glass screen porch or a glassed-in sun porch or something like that. Sort of had a tropical feel to it. So I said, yeah, let's look. Let's go to Home Depot, Lowe's, or whatever. Let's take a look and see what we can find. So we did go through and we looked, and we just didn't really see anything that we loved. So I said, well, maybe I can build something. So we looked on Pinterest, and I found a few things that I kind of liked. I didn't see anything exactly like what I thought would fit our house and our style. So kind of merged a couple of different things together and came up with what you're going to see in this video, which is kind of a rustic feel, and we like the rustic kind of older looking vintagey sort of items. We didn't want anything that looked like it just came straight out of a factory or a box. So using some regular dimensional lumber from Home Depot, I was able to kind of give it that sort of older look, aged look. Went in and did some kind of raised grain effects on the boards, and we also incorporated some other rustic sort of elements, like I used some really cool twine rope, hand wound rope. And anyways, you'll see in the video everything that was done, and I really hope you like it. Thank you for watching. So you can see this wood is not perfect. It's actually, some of this wood has been sitting outside for a while. So what I did was kind of planed it down a little bit. Try to get off any of the bad spots. This wood is actually kind of wet. You can see how that looks nice and clean once you plane it down. Gives you a good surface to work on. And then once I got it how I wanted it, I just sanded it down a little bit to smooth it out. You can see there kind of the figure just naturally of the grain. There's a few little spots like this that were kind of knotty or a little bit rotten, and you can just carve those out. You can see here I'm taking my different tools. I'm using a screwdriver right there to kind of carve some of that grain pattern into it. And then what you end up with once you stain this and seal it, it really looks rustic and old. It's a pretty cool technique. There it is once I've stained it. And I just used the Varathane dark walnut. And this is my marking gauge. Looks like I've got it set to about 3 inches. And I just wanted to make sure that I had everything the same separation apart once I put it together. This is the sealant that I used, and it's just a General Finishes high performance top coat. And you can put that on, and it's a water-based polyurethane. I did multiple coats of this. This is a satin finish, so it's not going to be super glossy, but it does give it a good look. Just make sure you cover any parts that are going to be seen so that it uniformly matches. And then I actually used my blowtorch. It's kind kind of cold out in my garage, so I wanted to speed up the drying process a little bit in between coats. And this is me working on the rope that I talked about earlier. This rope, if you don't wrap it, it will fall apart. So you have to wrap the ends, but you can see it's a very rustic jute. And this is just me attaching everything together. Then wrapping the rope around the ends. And I just used a little bit of adhesive there, kind of hold everything in place. And it ended up being a little bit long, so I had to cut it. I clamped it to dry overnight. You can see there, I've got all 4 of them done. This is the next day, and I'm just doing another coat of the polyurethane there. This is the hardware that I used for the actual light, and I found these on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in getting these receptacles. Actually, figuring out the wiring on this was a challenge. I actually ended up rewiring this 3 different times. This part was okay, but at first I had each light going all the way to the top, each wire. Then I decided to go back and redo it, so I pigtailed everything together in the end product. I don't really get into that here, but I do show you what it looks like once I got the wiring the way I wanted it. And these little cages were pretty cool. I found these on Amazon too. I'll put a link to that in the description. Just using some heavy-duty picture hanger hooks for the chain that's gonna hold this thing up. And that's the finished wiring. You can see how tidy that is. And I've just got 1 wire that will go up to the box in the ceiling. Put a coat of red paint on there just to make it easier to clean later on, get the dust off. So there's the old fan, and there is the finished fixture hanging in our living room. And we love it. It looks great. So cool. So thanks for watching. Please let us know what your thoughts are. Give us a comment, give us a like, share it with your friends, and be sure, if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that button.